Ooh, here we go. Let's check out this joint to see if we get some crocs. Crikey. Looks like croc country to me. Crikey. They got a big stuffed one here. This is that was when he was caught. 5.2 metres. Oh, 17 feet 2 inches. That's a big bastard. Have a look at this. Give you an idea how big this sucker is. I'll stick my head there. Crikey, that's a big sucker. Crikey, I'd hate to be chomped by that bugger. Now apparently there's some mean buggers down here. Cassowaries. Yeah, they're dangerous. Probably more dangerous than crocs. Here's another big bugger. Have a look at that. Crikey. Hello. Don't keep my fingers. I'm going to keep my fingers out of your way. There we go. Oh. Yeah. Ah. Don't want to see one of these in the bush.
No?
No, no.
Are they quite aggressive?
Very. Yeah.
Is that why there's like...
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
It's the bone thing.
The bone, and they've got a...
It's the neck thing. So this is like the closest thing you'll get to the dinosaur.
Yeah.
You're living your best
that
life.
And, that and your crocodiles and...
She loves dinosaurs.
Oh my god. That is amazing.
Hey, I'm glad you're on that side of the wire, buddy.
Are they really that nasty?
They've got a reputation.
Is that his ear? The hole on the side of his head?
Yes.
Wow.
And you see the long toe on the insides?
Mm-hmm.
They use that and they will disembowel people with that. That's serious, dead serious.
Have people died out?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
No, don't lie.
Google them. Google them.
They're quite deceiving with their pretty little
They are probably the most aggressive.
So they can't fly, can they?
No.
Oh my god.
They don't believe me that they're dangerous.
Oh, they can be.
Yeah.
These guys not so much.
Wild ones are different.
So yes, they do have a reputation as the world's most dangerous bird. We've kind of been discussing that. But in terms of pretty much how aggressive they can be and the weaponry they have. So they can be quite territorial, especially when it comes to protecting chicks. And their most lethal weapon is actually the claws on their feet, which are kind of described like a hook spear. So to put in perspective, the emus are described like little knives. So these guys are the next level. When they jump up and kick, it's designed to rip open. So they do have probably the most lethal weaponry of any bird.
Hello again.
Hi.
Crikey, that's a weird looking bird. It is huge. Crikey. Can you see him in there? Hiding in the water there. Well, haven't had to wrestle any crocs yet. yet. Oh, brain freeze. Oh, crikey, it's hot. I need the air conditioning. Whew. Want some? Yeah, have some of this. It's really good. Yeah, lovely, isn't it? Yeah, crikey. He's a big bugger. Not the biggest though.
Yeah, we'll be at the, wherever the crocodiles feeding is. It's probably over there somewhere. The crocodile feeding is at 1. Yeah. Okay, well that sounds good. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
go
see.
see
And
The east coast, so that's a fair height for a croc. Here he comes, a little bit of splashing is going to get his attention. It's just breaking the surface now, folks. So this is effectively what crocodiles are all about, stealth and camouflage. So when he's down there in the deep water, who had any idea he was there? No? Yeah? Did you see him before? Gave himself away. Whoa, you're slipping, bud. But of course here, it's nice and shallow here, and that works in our favour because having him sneak up and catch us by surprise, oh, it's all exciting for the first minute, but after a while, you know, the old ticker can't take it. Now also, when it comes to this ambush, what really helps him, as I said, it's really shallow here. He's 4.5 metres long, but he doesn't actually stand that high to the top of his back there. In fact, if he was up on the bank here, between me and Kate, he wouldn't even come up to our knees. He comes up to probably about there, I suppose, would be generous in height. And that's just when he's laying on his tummy. So he'll sneak up on his prey by moving through the shallow water, getting nice and close to the water's edge. And then when he's ready to ambush that prey, he's going to wait for it to come as close as possible to him. So things like the water birds there moving around the edge of the water, he's going to sneak in as close as he can and then wait for them to make the mistake of getting a little bit closer to him. Can I have that back? Thank you.
Oh, that's it. Let's get them all mad.
So of course, once he's nice and close and he knows he's got the opportunity to grab him, what was that? You like that? Scary when you're this close. I'll give you the tip. We'll do that again just because it's good fun. You lift your head up. Head up. Yeah. Fool me once, shame on you, he says. No, that wasn't meant to happen. You didn't see that in the brochure, folks. I was going to make that last a bit longer, but yeah, he's got other ideas on that. So of course, by being low to the water, you can sneak up right to the water's edge. Things like kangaroos, wallabies, dingoes, even large prey like wild pigs, cattle, horses, they all need to come down to the water to drink, and the crocodiles watch that behaviour and learn that behaviour. That's why they'll actually put themselves in that position to ambush the prey. It's not just a random guess that they're going to go, well, I'll sit here, something might turn up. So the crocodile watches that and then moves over. The next day, when that animal comes down to get a drink, now I'm a bit nervous to let him grab this one. There we go. The animal comes down to get a drink, dips its nose in. He's waiting there already. He's put himself in that position. Very few animals can hold their breath more than 1 to 3 minutes, folks. But you're looking at a creature that can hold his breath anywhere between 1 to 3 hours, depending on the situation. So all he's got to do is wait it out. He could possibly try and manoeuvre the animal around. Climb it back. Oh, cut. Crunch. Hear that? Give you an idea of that jaw force, folks. That wasn't even a full bite, and he crunched that bone up pretty well. But he can apply around 3,500 pounds of crushing bite force, 1.6 tonnes. That's a fair whack of power, folks. There you go. Imagine that clamped on your leg. So of course, when he's got that prey, as I said, he can try and position it around and deliver a fatal bite on it. But that's going to require energy, and he doesn't want to burn up energy. He's got the animal already. It's not getting away from him. He's got 1.6 tonne of bite force clamped on it. He's also got it underwater. He's in his element. Once it drowns, then all he has to do is start to crunch it up and get it ready to swallow. So things like water birds, fish, you know, small river turtles, even a small kangaroo or a wallaby. He can literally swallow them whole. Crunch, 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 crunch. Soften them up. He's breaking the bones, of course. He's mashing the flesh. In the case of turtles, just crushing up that shell. Plenty of bite force for that. So then he comes back to the surface because he's ready to swallow that food. Even though he can actually crush and kill. Oh, that was a yeah. Sorry, I'm just having a moment with myself. So of course, Alright, I'll give you a chance to have a little rest and build up to that one again. So he can actually crush and kill that prey item underwater, and he can soften it up and get it ready to swallow, but he can't swallow his food underwater. So very effectively, he'll bring it back to the surface, hold his head up nice and high, just like that, and swallow it down. So that's how it works really well for him. Come on, come for a little swim. You've got to earn this bit because you didn't do anything for the other bit. You stole it. So once he's crushed it up and he's nice and soft and he's ready to swallow it, head above the surface, swallow that down. But if it's really big, I mentioned before about cows and horses, he can actually drown them, kill them, no problem. But of course he can't swallow them whole. They're far too big. But he'll employ pretty much the same principle. He's going to grab hold of, say, the leg or the head, something like that, and just crunch, crunch, crunch. Break those bones and mash the flesh. Those teeth, they're big, they're quite blunt. He's putting a whole bunch of holes in the hide of that animal as he's doing so. So it's making a weak point, like a tear line. You imagine the toilet paper at home, it's got a whole bunch of little perforations along it. So when he's ready to break off the head or break off the leg of that cow that he's got, big powerful shake of his head, or he'll perform the crocodile roll or the death roll. So interestingly, the death roll isn't really going to cause the death of the animal because he's already drowned it. It's died quite effectively. So what he'll do by performing that roll is simply twist off a piece small enough that he can swallow down. Oh, I meant that to happen. Back barrel. Oh, there you go, mate. That's dinner for you today. But even though he's a big animal, his head will use another lure to get him up here.
Oh, that's a big sucker.
But science estimates that crocodiles can live anywhere between 80 and 100 years of age. Now, of course, crocodiles were hunted in Australia almost to extinction right up until the 70s. And since hunting has stopped, we actually don't have any captive crocodiles in Australia yet that have managed to reach that 80 to 100 year mark. So that's as good an estimation as we've got. But we're hoping Jupiter will live quite a number of years to come. Now guys, this part of the talk is actually meant to be about crocodile safety. Now Dave already mentioned that the name saltwater crocodile doesn't always mean they're found in salt water, but they certainly can be. They can be found in any of our waterways. And the first part of knowing how to stay safe from crocodiles is...
Hi, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The camera's running, if that's all right?
Yeah.
Yep, sure. I was just wondering, have you ever had one of these guys have a go at you while you're doing a show, or not doing a show?
So we often face that every time we interact with crocodiles.
Yeah.
Our training regime to do these shows though is really, really strict. So we learn a lot about crocodile behaviour and how to recognise it and how to deal with it if it does happen. Before we're even allowed in the enclosure, so we're quite well equipped to deal with it. Yeah.
You wouldn't get me in there with them.
No.
Not a hope in hell. You got some balls, lady. Go on down.
No worries.
We're going to have a look at some freshwater crocs now. See what the difference is, eh?
So what you want to do, you want to lure them over a little bit. Hold it nice and high above their head, probably at 20-30 centimetres. Move it towards the back of their head so that they position themselves straight up like that. And then watch their legs. When they're ready to jump, I'll brace those legs ready to go. Ooh. Come here, please. So let them do a couple of jumps and then you can feed them. Hey, Princess, you want to feed the crocodile? You want to feed Big Frank? Here we go. Up on there.
Now.
Just don't hang your hands over the edge.
No, I won't. No, I like my fingers.
Yeah. Oh, you got straight up your nose now.
The first time I met Dave, she licked him.
The first time I met Dave, he licked me.
Take them down, suburban town. Give them a heart of yes, sir. You got jazz and blues, rock your boots, and then